Let's face it, people lie more than we would like to admit, and it's not just strangers. It could be a friend, a partner, even family. We all want to believe we're good at spotting deception, but often we ignore red flags because we're hardwired to trust the ones closest to us. In a world full of masked intentions and hidden motives, Stoic philosophy stands as a beacon of clarity, self-awareness, and rational thinking, vital tools for spotting dishonesty. In the words of Epictetus, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. So let's go beyond assumptions and uncover some clear signs that someone may be lying to you. Prepare yourself. It might hit closer to home than you think. 1. Quick to change the subject. When in doubt, shift the focus. Ever notice someone who dodges your question with the agility of a world-class sprinter? You ask something serious, and before you know it, they're off on a tangent, talking about something completely unrelated. This isn't just forgetfulness, it's a tactic. When someone's uncomfortable with the truth, they'll often switch lanes to avoid exposure. I once ignored this behavior in a relationship, thinking it was harmless. I'd bring up future plans or ask about long-term goals, only for the conversation to veer suddenly toward what they saw on social media or the latest movie. Looking back, I see this wasn't harmless. It was avoidance, a way to skirt around accountability. As the Stoics remind us, to uncover the truth, you must be willing to look it in the face. Don't let these deflections slip by. Confront them with calmness. Real honesty involves facing the uncomfortable. Challenge them, because truth never needs a detour. 2. Excessive defensiveness. A simple question shouldn't provoke a full-fledged defense. Excessive defensiveness is a telltale sign that someone's hiding something. Lies create a heightened sense of awareness. Any inquiry feels like a threat to their carefully constructed story. They may overreact, getting angrier than expected, or giving unnecessarily elaborate justifications. Example: imagine asking a friend a simple question like, "Hey, where were you last night?" And instead of an easy answer, you're met with a whirlwind of details and a touch of anger. If someone over-explains, take note. Stoic philosophy advises us that an honest person need not over-justify. The truth is simple, evident, and defensible on its own. Pro tip: stay calm. Stoics teach that a composed mind can perceive things clearly. When people get defensive, they reveal more than they intend. As Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change." The truth doesn't hide behind defenses, it stands firm. 3. Laughing off serious topics. Humor is a fantastic diffuser, but when it's used to deflect serious conversations, it can become a red flag. If someone laughs off significant topics, they may be shielding themselves from the weight of the discussion. Laughter as a shield is a common tactic for avoiding discomfort. In a past relationship, I tried to bring up important issues: future plans, financial transparency, long-term goals. Instead of engaging, my partner would laugh it off, saying things like, "Why worry? Let's just live for today." At first, it seemed lighthearted, but over time, I realized it was a tactic to avoid real issues. Important conversations deserve attention. When someone laughs off what's meaningful to you, they're revealing their unwillingness to confront reality. A Stoic knows that true strength lies in facing the truth, no matter how uncomfortable. As Seneca wisely noted, "A wise man is calm, not because he is invulnerable, but because he is unafraid of reality." 4. Vagueness. When pressed for specifics. Liars love vagueness. When pressured for details, they often resort to generalities and fogging, circling around the point with ambiguity. They avoid specifics because specific details can later catch them in their lies. Stoic philosophy values clarity, directness, and the pursuit of truth. If someone consistently sidesteps details, let that be a red flag. I once had a coworker who claimed to be working on huge deals that would change the game. Curious, I'd ask for a few details: who they were working with, what stage the deal was at. But they'd respond with, "Oh, we're just in the early stages, can't reveal much." Weeks passed, and nothing came of these deals. Turned out, there was no deal at all. Don't let vague responses slide. Directness reveals honesty. A person who values truth won't need a fog of words. As Epictetus would advise, clarity is the foundation of all trust. So, press for clarity and trust those who respond openly. 5. Inconsistent stories. The burden of lying is that it requires constant mental juggling. Lies are difficult to keep consistent because the story needs constant revision. When someone is dishonest, the details of their tale often change over time. The Stoics emphasized consistency and logic. Be attentive to shifts in someone's narrative. I once noticed a friend telling slightly different versions of the same story each time they shared it. One day they'd mention being with a friend at an event. Another time they'd forget that detail altogether. The more questions I asked, the more their story unraveled. The truth remains stable under scrutiny. Lies do not. Embrace silence and let them speak. As Epictetus once said, remain silent and let others talk themselves into truth or lie. By simply listening carefully, inconsistencies will often reveal themselves, and truth tends to rise above the noise. 6. Overly elaborate explanations. Sometimes, liars overcompensate with details, assuming that more information equals more believability. They think that the more they elaborate, the more credible they'll appear. But in reality, genuine responses are usually straightforward and to the point. Stoicism teaches us that honesty requires no grand performance. The truth is clear, simple, and doesn't need embellishment. Example: picture asking someone where they were, and they respond with a minute-by-minute breakdown of their day. They go on about every minor event, each irrelevant detail, overloading you with information. The Stoics would tell us that the truth is effortless. Only lies require an elaborate production. Advice: keep your questions simple and observe. As Seneca might suggest, the truth is clear enough to be recognized without fanfare. If the answer feels too rehearsed, too prepared, trust your instincts. 7. Shifting eye contact and body language. Body language often tells the story our words don't. Watch for someone who avoids eye contact, fidgets, or positions themselves away from you. These behaviors can signal discomfort or an attempt to distance themselves from what they're saying. Stoicism emphasizes the ability to observe without judgment and let the body reveal what words try to conceal. Example: when someone shifts away mid-conversation, it's often a subconscious attempt to distance themselves from the discomfort of their lie. Stoics encourage us to remain observant. As Marcus Aurelius said, if you observe without attachment or judgment, the truth often becomes apparent. The body speaks its own language. Lies are corrosive. They erode trust, obscure clarity, and cloud our perceptions. Stoic philosophy offers us the tools to cut through deception and see reality for what it is. Remember, spotting these signs is not about becoming paranoid. It's about respecting yourself enough to value the truth. When we choose not to ignore red flags, we protect not only ourselves but also the integrity of our relationships. The Stoics remind us, what is in the way becomes the way. Recognizing deception is not merely a skill, it's an act of self-respect. By observing without judgment, listening carefully, and valuing honesty, we can cultivate stronger, more authentic connections.